Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are looking at the book of Numbers right now, and we are in the midst of the story of Balaam. And we talked about him yesterday. If you missed that episode, you should probably go back to that episode and before you watch this one so you know what we're talking about. Today it's entitled Letting Money Come Before God. Okay, and you're going to see here, Balaam looks like he's a holy guy, but you look at it a little closer and you can see he's really serving the god of money. All right, and so watch closely here as we read here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is taken today from Numbers chapter 22, verses 13 to 20. It says this: The next morning Balaam got up and said to Balak's officials, "Go back to your own country, for the Lord has refused to let me go with you." That right there is what would end this whole thing. I remember the last verse, what I read yesterday, which I'll read it again here, verse 12 of yesterday. It said, "But God said to Balaam, do not go with them. You must not put a curse on these people because they are blessed." God gave that instruction. That should have been the end of it. And so Balaam does that for one verse. And he says, I'll read verse 13 again. The next morning Balaam got up and said to Balak's officials, "Go back to your own country, for the Lord has refused to let me go with you." That right there should have been the end of the story. Then the story's done. We're all done. We're not trying to, hang with evil. But it doesn't go that way. Balaam holds on a little more. Okay? So the Moabite officials returned to Balak and said, "Balaam refused to come with us." Then Balak sent other officials, more numerous and more distinguished than the first. Okay, so he's like, we're going to try and influence him, and I'm going to send more officials, and I'm going to send more distinguished officials. Oh, okay. So then Balak, he sent those officials. They came to Balaam and said, "This is what Balak, son of Zippor, says. Do not let anything keep you from coming to me, because I will reward you handsomely and do whatever you say. Come and put a curse on these people." Okay, so he's saying now, hey man, I'll give you all the money you want. You just need to put a curse on these people. So Balaam, if he's following God, should have said, no thanks, and not gone into further discussion about it. But you can see he does here. Verse 18, it says, "But Balaam answered them, even if Balak should give me all the silver and gold in the palace, I could not do anything, great or small, to go beyond the command of the Lord my God. Now spend the night here so that I can find out what else the Lord will tell me." Now, those two verses right there are like, what in the world are you doing? Okay? The first problem here is he says, "Oh, even if you gave me all the gold in the palace." So he's like putting a request there that, like, I need a whole lot of money to do this, okay? And setting that up there. And it's rather than saying, "Nope, I don't care what you pay me, I'm not doing it." Beat it. That should have been the thing to say, but he didn't. And then he continues on entertaining them, okay? Like, God's going to change his mind. If you know God, he doesn't go and change his mind. Like, oh, I was wrong. Never happens. And when in verse 19, when he says, "Now spend the night here so that I can find out what else the Lord will tell me," the Lord's not changing his mind. All right. Verse 20, it says, "That night God came to Balaam and said, 'Since these men have come to summon you, go with them, but do only what I tell you.'" All right. So now God is like, he's seeing how Balaam is, and he's going to play into this. All right. And he's going to show the power of God through this whole story. Okay. It could have been a simple story, and just like Balaam said, "No, I can't do it," and that's the end of the story. But he doesn't, and he keeps playing around here. So God is going to use Balaam as a whole example here that goes on for several chapters here of his power and how he cares for the people of Israel. All right. So but you can see here, Balaam was controlled by money. All right, he made those kind of hints there, like, oh, if you pay me, the whole, all the gold in the palace, I still can't do it. But go ahead and stay here for tonight, and let me see what else God says. What kind of garbage is that? Just say, get out of here. God doesn't want me to curse him. So, anyway, do not let money control you. Okay, and there's many ways we can do it, and I won't even go into all of them. But don't let money control you. Hey, thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue looking at the story of Balaam in the book of Numbers. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.